Two of my wife's goons yanked me off my front porch before I could even finish bringing in the groceries. One was bald, covered in tattoos from neck to knuckles. The other looked like his face had been carved out of a brick wall. They tossed my phone into a ditch, shoved me into the back of a black SUV, and drove off like they were running from the law. By the time the tires hit dirt, I knew we weren't going anywhere good. They stopped in a wide, empty field. No houses, no lights, just flat land and wind. Then she showed up. Claire. Dressed like she was headed to a fashion shoot instead of a crime scene. Leather skirt, stilettos sinking into the gravel, lips painted blood red. She stood in front of me with a thick envelope in her hand and a smirk on her face. "Hey, babe," she said like we were running into each other at the mall. "Glad you could make it. This won't take long." I was too shocked to speak. Just stared at the envelope. "What is this?" I asked. She stepped closer. "A contract," she said. "No messy divorce. No court battles. Just you agreeing to stay married while I see other men. As many as I want, whenever I want. You stay loyal. You stay quiet. Like a good little husband." The bald guy chuckled. The other one pulled a pin from his coat pocket. Claire waved the envelope in front of me. "Sign it, and we all go home without any broken bones," she added. My jaw tightened. I didn't say a word. Claire tilted her head. "Come on, Ethan. You knew, right? You were not that clueless. All those yoga trips and late nights at work. You really believe that?" Adorable. She was enjoying it. Mocking me. And the worst part? Deep down, I had known. The text she tried to hide, the loud music in the shower to cover phone calls, the way she smiled when she thought I wasn't looking. It was all there. I just didn't want to believe it. But this was next level. This wasn't just cheating. This was an announcement. She wanted her betrayal documented. Certified. I stood up. The bald one twitched, ready to throw me back down. Claire raised a hand. "No need," she said. "Ethan's not a fighter." She was right. I wasn't going to fight. I was going to outthink. I smiled. "You're right," I said. "Let's not make this messy." I took the pin. Claire looked smug. I grabbed the envelope. She looked victorious. I signed, then I laughed. A real, belly-deep laugh that made all three of them look at me sideways. "What's so funny?" Claire asked. I looked her dead in the eyes. This is the part where I get very messy. "What?" I dropped the pin at her feet. "You wanted a show, Claire? You're going to get a masterpiece." They think betrayal is the end of the story, but they don't realize it is just the beginning. They think that dragging a man through the mud makes them powerful, but they forget, when a man has nothing left to lose, he becomes something else. Dangerous. I went home with a bruised ego and a mind on fire. I replayed it all in my head. Her lies, her smirks, the way she twisted the knife. And I knew I wasn't going to let her win. The next morning, she left early like usual. Didn't say goodbye. Just the click of her heels on the stairs and the door slamming behind her. I stood in the quiet house we built together, now just a stage where I had been the only one playing fair. She left her second phone on the kitchen counter. The work phone. The one I was never allowed to touch. It buzzed once. That was all it took. I picked it up. Entered the passcode I knew she'd never change. Her childhood dog's birthday. Predictable. The screen lit up. Dozens of messages. Men saved under fake names. Photos. Videos. Captions like, "He cried last night. Still thinks we have a chance." I did not need to watch the videos. The words were enough. She wanted to destroy me. Not just cheat, but erase me. I backed it all up. Uploaded everything. Triple copies. I wasn't collecting evidence. I was building a battle plan. That night, she walked in humming a tune. Dropped her heels at the door like nothing had happened. "You seem tense," she said. "Did you think about the offer?" "Yeah," I told her. "I thought about it a lot." She smiled. "Good. We can be modern about this." I said nothing. Just watched her walk to the shower, her purse left wide open. Inside was the burner phone she thought I had never seen. Mistake number 2. 3 days passed. I played along. The clueless husband. She played her part, too. Sweet smiles, fake kisses, disappearing for hours. But I tracked everything. She had 2 main lovers. Mason and Troy. Both looked like they lived in the gym and made their money the dirty way. Then came Friday night. She wanted dinner. For old time's sake, she said. She wore red. She always wore red when she wanted control. We ate by candlelight. I cooked steaks. She toasted to growth. She pulled out the envelope again. That contract. It's not about love anymore, Ethan. It's about freedom. Mine. You'll get used to it. And what do I get? I asked. Stability, she said. You're the foundation. The boring safety net. That has value. Something inside me gave way. Quietly, I stood up, walked behind her, kissed her head. She giggled, thought she had one. She had no idea what was coming next. When I leaned in and said, "Let's take a photo to remember this moment," Claire squinted, confused. What? I snatched her phone before she could react. Just one picture. Humor me. Her face stiffened. Ethan, give it back. I grinned and flipped the camera on. But I accidentally hit the home button instead. The screen lit up. No lock screen. No password. And right there, front and center, was a message thread with Troy. The latest message was a photo. Claire. In lingerie. Timestamp. Today. 2:43 in the afternoon. Under it, his words. That idiot husband still breathing? Claire lunged across the table, but I was quicker. The grin fell off my face. It's over, I said. Her face dropped. It's not what it looks like. I held up the phone. Oh, really? Is there another Claire running around in lingerie today I don't know about? She grabbed the wine and poured herself a full glass like it was just another Thursday. Relax. I was going to explain eventually. You're blowing this out of proportion. You let a guy who assaulted me text you that garbage? I snapped. She shrugged. Actually shrugged. Ethan, I'm tired of playing pretend. You're soft. I want a spark. These guys give me that. You give me groceries. I barked out a laugh, short, bitter, ugly. You never loved me. You loved the leash. Something flickered in her expression, but it vanished fast. Fine, she muttered. Then leave. Or stay and rot. I'll keep doing whatever I want. You'll regret this. She lifted her glass and smirked. Cheers to that. What she did not know. That was her last sip of comfort in my house. People like Claire, they walk through life thinking the world spins for them. That people like me, quiet, consistent, are just part of the furniture. After that dinner, I sat in the garage, door cracked open, letting the cold air numb me while I read her messages. All of them. She wasn't hiding anymore. She liked humiliating me. That's when I stumbled on something unexpected. A thread from her sister, Olivia. Not one of Claire's fake friends, her actual sister. The one who used to call me the good one at family cookouts. The message was tucked away in a group of chats. It said, Claire, you're pushing it. Mom and Dad don't know what you're doing with the house loan, do they? What if Ethan finds out? House loan? We'd taken out a loan last year for the kitchen remodel. Claire insisted she'd handle it. Said she wanted the experience. I trusted her. That was a mistake. I went to the closet and dug out our financial records. The old stuff, buried under years of junk. And there it was. She refinanced the loan. Forged my signature. Took more than double what she claimed for the remodel and funneled it into a separate account. Half the funds used. Half vanished. No wonder she was clinging to this marriage like a life raft. Divorce meant exposure. By morning, I had everything saved, screenshots, printouts, the whole paper trail. I called Olivia. She picked up slow, wary. Ethan, I just need a straight answer. Did Claire steal from our loan? Long pause. Then, yes. Why didn't you tell me? She said you were in on it. That it was your idea to help fund her salon plans. Ethan, she lies to everyone. How long? She's been moving money for months. Some of it's going to a guy in Florida, Troy, I think. Of course it was Troy. Thanks, I said. I'll handle it from here. Please be careful, she said quietly. Claire's darker than people know. Always has been. That hit harder than I expected. I looked around the living room. The room she decorated with stolen money, painted in fake smiles, and drenched in lies. I was done being quiet. Done being polite. It was time people saw her for who she really was. So I waited. Until Sunday. Her weekly dinner with her parents, her little performance of being the perfect daughter and wife. I walked in uninvited, dropped a folder on the dinner table. Brought dessert. Claire turned pale. Her mom smiled, confused. Her dad blinked at the documents. What's this? Her mother asked. The folder had it all: bank transfers, forged signatures, screenshots. Claire stood up fast. Ethan, not here. Why not? I asked. You like drama. She lunged for the folder, but her dad was faster. What the hell is this, Claire? He demanded. Lies, she said too quickly. He's twisting everything. He's mad. No, I said. This is the truth. The same truth she's been hiding from all of you. Her dad's hands trembled. You forged his name. Claire opened her mouth. Nothing came out. The drive home was silent. She didn't speak. I didn't either. Just the road noise and the ticking of her panic. When we got back, she jumped out of the car and went inside without a word. I gave her space, let her boil in her own mess. But I knew she wasn't done. Claire never stopped scheming. Sure enough, when I stepped into the house, I caught her whispering on the phone. He showed up with everything. I don't know how he got it. You need to lay low. She froze when she saw me. I didn't flinch. Just stared. Was that Troy or Mason? I asked. She hissed. You have no idea who you're messing with. No, Claire. You don't. She scoffed. You're not dangerous. You're wallpaper. I didn't respond. Just walked to the living room and dropped a second folder on the coffee table. Take a look, I said. Inside? Screenshots of her text with Troy. Photos. Timelines. All of it. I know he's on parole, I told her. And I've already filed a report. They'll go to him first. She turned white. Could not speak. You thought you could use me as your backup plan, I said. But I'm not your pet. I'm the storm you didn't see coming. Right then, a knock at the door. Claire jumped like she'd been shot. I opened the door to a police officer. Mr. Ethan Walker? He asked. Yes. We'd like to ask you some questions about a report involving financial fraud and a convicted felon. I looked at Claire, who was now backing into the wall like the room itself was closing in. Of course, officer, I said. Come right in. She was finally cornered. But this was just the beginning. Watching Claire squirm in that chair while the cops asked her simple, direct questions about the forged documents, the money that vanished, her connection to a known felon, felt better than any fantasy of revenge I ever had. I stayed calm, respectful, the betrayed husband with a clear conscience and a stack of evidence. Claire, of course, tried flipping the script. Said it was a misunderstanding. Claimed I'd been emotionally abusive for years. Said I had control issues. What she didn't know, I'd already filed for divorce the day before. And not just any filing, I brought the prenup back into play. One she'd insisted we sign early on, claiming it was romantic and symbolic. Said it proved we were marrying for love, not assets. At the time, I agreed. Back then, I was the fool who believed in her. But I had a lawyer buddy look it over, and he suggested a little clause. Just a few quiet lines buried in the fine print. Infidelity voids all claims. Not only did she forfeit everything, but everything reverted back to me: house, savings, business. It was all in black and white. When the police finally left, I sat Claire down at the kitchen table. Remember that prenup you were so excited about? I asked gently. She narrowed her eyes. What about it? I slid the original copy across the table. You should have read the fine print. She flipped through it fast, then slower, until her eyes stopped dead on the clause. Her face drained. No. This can't hold up. You tricked me. No, I said. You tricked yourself. The moment you dragged me into a field and made me sign that sick contract, you ended this. She stood up, breathing heavy, trying to keep the rage in. You can't take everything. That house is mine. I picked the colors, the tile, everything. You paid for it, I said, with money you stole. And your name's not even on the deed. She fell silent, then let out this bitter, broken laugh. You think this makes you the winner? No, I said. It makes me free. She stormed off upstairs. Slammed the bedroom door so hard a picture fell off the wall. I didn't move. Didn't even blink. Let her throw her tantrum. That noise used to scare me. Not anymore. That night was quiet. She didn't come down. Didn't call. Didn't text. Just silence. But I knew better than to assume that meant it was over. Claire wasn't the type to walk away. She was the type to reload. Sure enough, a few days later, while I was out in the garage digging through some old boxes, the front door slammed hard enough to shake the siding. Not a knock. Not a call. Just a crash. I walked inside and there he was. Troy. Big. Sweaty. Veins bulging out of his neck like cables. Claire stood behind him like some drama queen hyping her pit bull. You think you're slick? He snarled. Calling the cops on me? Messing with my life? I didn't even flinch. You assaulted me, I said. And you're on parole. You're lucky I haven't done more. He laughed, but his eyes were twitchy. Claire said you wouldn't press charges. I looked straight at her. Claire says a lot of things. Most of them lies. That landed harder than I expected. Her smirk twitched. Troy stepped forward, jabbed a finger into my chest. You think hiding behind lawyers and paperwork makes you a man? I looked down at his hand, then back into his eyes. Calm. No. But I've got cameras in this house now. One in this room. Another outside. They're rolling. He froze. I tapped my phone. One button and your parole officer gets a nice little video of you violating a restraining order. Want to test me? Claire's eyes popped wide. You're bluffing. Try me. For a few long seconds, the air in the room felt like it could crack open. Troy's fists clenched. Claire looked like she was weighing her odds. Then, finally, he backed off. You're dead inside, he growled. You think this makes you strong? No, I said. What makes me strong is I never sunk to your level. He turned to Claire, eyes full of rage. Not worth it. She tried to stop him. Troy, wait. He shoved her hand away and walked out, door slamming hard behind him. She just stood there, silent, powerless. Her entire act stripped away in one moment. I poured a glass of water, looked her right in the eye. You picked a guy who'd break the law for you, but not one who'd stay when the fun ended. Her voice cracked. He said he loved me. No, he liked breaking things. And you handed him the bat. She opened her mouth, maybe to beg, maybe to argue. I walked right past her. That was the first time I truly felt peace. Not silence. Peace. The kind that comes after the worst storm finally blows through. The next morning, she was still there, sitting at the table in a baggy hoodie, staring into a black cup of coffee like it owed her answers. No lipstick. No earrings. Just the real Claire, finally unmasked. She didn't look up. So what now? She muttered. I leaned against the counter. Divorce finalizes next week. The house is mine. The business accounts are sealed. You'll get your formal notice by Friday. She didn't argue. Just flinched, nodded once. You need to be out by then. Mail's already being redirected. Still nothing from her. Just silence. For once, it wasn't a game. It was surrender. I never wanted it to end like this, she said quietly. I laughed once. Not out of humor. Just disbelief. You wanted me quiet while you ruled your fake little kingdom. You got your crown. You just didn't expect it to melt. She looked up. Eyes red, not from tears, probably from exhaustion. From reality catching up. You think you're better than me now? I looked her dead in the face. No. I know I am. Because when I was betrayed, I didn't betray back. When I was hurt, I didn't hurt others. And when you had a chance to be honest, you picked your ego every time. She didn't have a comeback. Just stared. I turned to leave, then stopped in the hallway. You want advice? She said nothing. Just watched me. The next time someone loves you enough to stand by your side, don't use that love to build a lie. Because one day, even the quiet ones learn to burn bridges with a smile. That was the last thing I ever said to Claire. She left 2 days later. No note. No goodbye. Just a half-empty closet and a bottle of perfume left behind like a ghost that didn't know it had died yet. I walked through the house, opened every window, and let the past blow out like ash from a fire that finally burned itself out. And for the first time in years, I wasn't holding my breath. People ask me what I learned from it all. Simple. Never confuse patience with weakness. Never let love become a leash. And if someone shows you who they really are, believe them. And walk away before they take what's good in you and set it on fire. Because men like me, we do not stay broken. We rebuild.